Why can't I run, Mama? His voice was soft but carried the weight of 1,000 unanswered questions. 8-year-old Daniel sat in his wheelchair by the window, staring at the kids playing outside. Their laughter echoed, a melody of freedom he could only dream of. He turned to his mother, his wide brown eyes brimming with tears. Sarah knelt beside him, her heart breaking into tiny, sharp pieces. How could she explain to her son something she barely understood herself? "You're special, Daniel," she whispered, brushing his dark curls away from his forehead. "I don't want to be special," he said, his voice cracking. "I want to run. I want to play tag. I want to kick the ball." Sarah looked away, unable to meet his gaze. Daniel was born with a rare condition that left his legs weak and unresponsive. The doctors had called it spinal muscular atrophy. They had used words like degenerative and incurable. But all Sarah saw was her baby boy's innocence being stolen by something neither of them could fight. She took a deep breath, forcing the tears back. "There are many ways to play, Daniel. We just need to find yours." Daniel turned back to the window, his small fingers gripping the edge of the wheelchair. The children outside were now running in circles, their voices rising with excitement. He didn't answer her. Daniel's world was small, his room, the hallway, and occasionally the park where he sat on a bench while other kids raced past him. Every trip was a reminder of what he couldn't have. He tried to pretend it didn't bother him, but the truth was, it hurt. Deeply, at night, when the house was quiet, Daniel would lie in bed and imagine a different life. A life where his legs weren't just decorations. In his dreams, he could climb trees, race with his friends, and jump into puddles after the rain. But every morning, he woke up to the same reality, a body that felt like a cage. One morning, Sarah found him staring at his legs, his small hands pressing against them as if trying to will them to move. "What are you doing, sweetheart?" she asked gently. "I'm trying to wake them up," he said without looking at her. "Maybe they're just sleeping." Sarah swallowed the lump in her throat. "It's not your fault, Daniel. Your legs aren't sleeping. They're just different." "Then why can't they work like everyone else's?" he asked, finally looking up at her. She knelt beside him, taking his hands in hers. "I don't know, baby. But what I do know is that you're brave. Braver than anyone I've ever met." Daniel didn't feel brave. He felt trapped. School was no easier. The other kids weren't mean, but they didn't understand him either. They didn't know how to include him in their games, so they often left him out, not out of cruelty, but out of ignorance. One day, during recess, a boy named Liam came up to him. "Why don't you play with us?" Liam asked, his tone curious rather than unkind. Daniel looked at him, then at the soccer ball in Liam's hands. "I can't run," he said quietly. Liam frowned, tilting his head. "Can you kick the ball if someone rolls it to you?" I don't know," Daniel admitted. "Let's try," Liam said. Grinning, Liam rolled the ball toward him, slow and steady. Daniel hesitated, then lifted his foot awkwardly and nudged it. The ball wobbled forward, and Liam cheered like Daniel had scored a winning goal. "See? You can play," Liam said. For the first time in months, Daniel smiled. It wasn't perfect, but it was something. At home, Daniel told his mother about his small victory. "Liam said I can play with them sometimes. He said they'll figure it out." Sarah's eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of pride. "That's wonderful, Daniel. I'm so proud of you." But not every day was a good day. There were still moments when Daniel felt the weight of his limitations crushing him. He hated the pity in people's eyes. He hated the way strangers whispered as he passed by. One afternoon, after another difficult day at school, Daniel lashed out. "Why did this happen to me?" he yelled, tears streaming down his face. "Why can't I just be normal?" Sarah pulled him into her arms, letting him sob against her chest. "I don't know, Daniel," she said softly. "But I do know that you're more than your legs. You're kind, and smart, and funny." "None of that changes because you can't run. It's not enough," he cried. "It is," she whispered. "It's more than enough." Over time, Daniel found ways to adapt. He started painting, using bright colors to express the emotions he couldn't put into words. His art teacher, Ms. Rivera, encouraged him to enter a local contest. "You have a gift, Daniel," she said. When his painting won first place, Daniel realized something important. He might not be able to run or jump, but he could create beauty in his own way. Still, there were moments of despair. Moments when the world seemed unfair and unkind. But there were also moments of hope, like the time Liam helped him score a goal in soccer, or when his mother surprised him with a custom-built wheelchair that let him move faster than he ever thought possible. Life wasn't perfect, but it wasn't hopeless either. Daniel learned that while his legs might never carry him, his spirit could soar higher than he'd ever imagined, and on days when the pain felt too big to bear, he remembered his mother's words, "You're more than your legs," because he was.
Please subscribe, like and comment. It means a lot to us. Thank you.